How's it going, everyone? Dax here, and today we're reacting to Quasquazar. This black hole could be bigger than the universe. That sounds very intimidating and scary. Let's get straight into it. As per usual with Quasquazar videos, it will be transparent just in case of copyright reasons. Anyway, and away we go.
We proudly present to you the Quasquazar Guide to Curiosity. Join us on an interactive adventure across 160 thrilling pages that will change your perspective on the world forever. Available now on the Quasquazar shop. You might be inside a black hole that's inside a black hole that's inside a black hole.
Oh, slow
Everything
down.
in existence could be black holes all the way down.
Jesus.
It turns out black
That's why there's no other life other than us. That's... oh, no.
holes are much weirder
no.
than you think, and they break the universe much more than is usually explained, destroying time and space. And they may actually create infinite universes in the process. But before we can get to that, let's first build a black hole out of air.
You can do that?
Everything can become a black
What a
hole
Furby?
if you squeeze it to a critical limit.
Oh, okay.
You'd need to squeeze Earth down to the size of a coin for it to turn into a black hole. The Sun needs to be
Okay.
squeezed down to the size of a small city to become a black hole. And if a lot of
How does
mass
one
is
do that?
concentrated in a really tiny space, you get something super dense. This is usually how black holes are explained. Stuff becomes super dense and collapses into a black hole. But actually, you don't need any ultra-dense stuff to make them.
Oh.
We're ignoring some maths here, but all you really need to know is one thing. The larger black holes get, the less dense they are. So, really large black holes are kind of thin. A sun mass black
Okay.
hole is only about 6 kilometers wide and has a density of about 1 Himalayan range per cubic meter. The supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way has a mass of 4 million suns, a diameter of 24 million kilometers, and a density of 6 blue whales per cubic meter. The ultramassive black hole
Okay.
Iris 2100-4156 has a
Damn.
mass of 3.8 billion suns and is as wide
Who
as the
names
solar
these
system.
nowadays?
But because it's so
Damn.
large, it is only as dense as air. This means, at least in theory, that if you take a gigantic balloon and fill it with undecillions of tons of air, the moment it gets to the size of a solar system, an event horizon suddenly forms and it turns into a supermassive black hole
Wait,
without
no shot,
violence
right?
or squeezing. So
How?
now, let's think big. What do we need to make a black hole the size of the universe? A universe-sized black hole.
Something less than air? Is there anything less dense than
The
air?
universe that we can see from Earth is a sphere with a radius of 45 billion light-years, filled with hundreds of billions of galaxies, lots of gas, and a bunch of other things. If you add them up, it has the mass of about 1,000,000,000 billion suns.
Jesus,
Which
yeah.
sounds a lot, but on average, the universe is not very dense. If we break up all the galaxies, stars, gas, and energy and spread them equally inside the volume of the universe, we get an average density of about 5 hydrogen atoms per cubic meter. You can imagine this as the sort of ultra-thin cosmic air that makes up the universe.
Okay.
What would happen if we take a balloon as big as the observable universe and fill it with cosmic air? Well, it turns out that all the mass in the observable universe is more than enough to create a black hole. Actually, it's enough to make a black hole 10 times larger than the observable universe.
Wow.
But that can only mean one thing. We should be living deep inside a truly gargantuan, cosmic-sized black hole.
There probably are, though.
There's one catch, though. We know that our
Expansion.
universe is expanding, and an expanding universe is not what you'd expect to see if you were inside a black hole.
But what if the universe is mirrored? The reverse, like a mirror. So then instead of, for example, when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's in reverse. So we think the universe is expanding, but it's actually colliding into itself.
So our universe can't be a black hole, at least not in the naive way we've just described. Except there's a wild and mind-bending trick the universe could play on us. To find out how, let's jump into a black hole and die. A whole
Die?
universe born
Bloody hell.
inside a black hole.
Yar.
We usually imagine black holes as spheres with a singularity at their center, a point where all their mass is concentrated so much that our maths breaks down. But this is a lie. They are so much weirder. From the outside, a black hole looks like a normal black sphere, but the inside is where things stop making sense. Black holes warp the universe so much that at the event horizon, space and time switch their roles. Inside a normal sphere, space is finite, but time goes on forever. But inside a black hole, it's the other way around. Space goes on forever, but time is finite. So once inside, you see an infinite universe with no center. The geometry is too complicated, so we're simplifying. But basically, you could walk forever in one direction, or walk in another direction and arrive at the same place again. But not only that, inside a black hole time is finite and it's now running out. So after a while you start to notice that space itself is slowly changing. In one direction space is being stretched, while in all other directions space is shrinking. The whole universe is being squeezed, kind of turning into a collapsing spaghetti. Sooner or later the whole black hole universe collapses into itself. All of space, every single part of it, is turning into a singularity. So the singularity of a black hole is not at its center or in any direction at all. It's in the future of whatever falls inside. We made a whole video about this if you want to learn more. So the singularity is not a place where you can go, it's an event in time that happens. Once it happens, you and everything else that fell inside the black hole will be mercilessly crushed into an infinitely small region with infinite gravity and infinite energy. Time, space, none of it matters anymore. Both kind of stop existing in ways that we would recognize. And then, is this the end?
Darkness.
Well, maybe not. This collapse of the black hole universe into a singularity looks like one of the scenarios for the end of our universe, the Big Crunch, where long after the Big Bang the whole universe collapses into a singularity again. But if there's a big crunch, there might be a big bounce, like a rubber ball that you've squeezed too much and that suddenly rebounds. Space might expand again. So a new universe could be born inside a black hole. The funny thing about this scenario is that nothing has changed in the slightest outside the black hole. Watching from the outside, it's still a black sphere of nothingness, and yet on the inside, a new universe has been born. So maybe our universe was born like this, and we are all actually inside a black hole. But if our universe can also create black holes, they might give birth to new universes. Is our black hole universe also just part of a universe further up that's also a black hole inside another universe? Is there an end to it? Is there one original universe? Is the cosmos black holes inside black holes inside black holes?
Explaining the multiverse.
Infinite black hole universes. If the universe creates black holes that create universes, that then create new black holes that create new universes, this cosmic self-reproduction would be subject to natural selection. A Big Bang is a chaotic and messy event, so it's possible that the new daughter universes would not always be fully identical to their mums. Sometimes physics may be slightly different, with some fundamental values higher or lower, and so some universes might be able to create loads of stars, planets, and black holes. Others might not, maybe creating a uniform cosmic soup where no stars, planets, and black holes form.
Damn,
but if all universes...
He's literally just talking about the multiverse, but in black hole form.
...are born inside black holes, in the long run, all universe lines that don't create loads of black holes would die out. The universes with the conditions for loads of black holes would become the most common and spawn the most daughter universes. Survival of the fittest, but with universes instead of organisms. Our observable universe alone has created at least 10 to the power of 17 black holes so far. So maybe our universe has the physics and laws it has because it was born after a long process of cosmological selection that favored the production of tons of black holes. And that would have a lovely side effect. If universes are optimized to create as many new black hole universes as possible, they're optimized to create loads of galaxies and stars. And thereby also, by accident, the conditions for life to emerge. So universes that are the best at creating new universes are also the best at creating life. If this scenario is true, who knows how many bazillions of black hole universes might be out there, all with stars and planets potentially home to others like us.
That's
so,
crazy.
Is our universe like this?
Get hold of them.
The truth is we don't know. While these ideas are based on real science and work on paper, they're speculative and not testable. Also, cyclic universes don't actually explain why the universe exists in the first place or why it is the way it is. Instead of providing answers, these are really just new questions in disguise, so keep that in mind before getting too excited. But isn't it just
yes.
wonderful and heartwarming that we're living in a universe where ideas as big as this one are even thinkable?
Well,
There
yeah,
won't be
I'm not
so-
being funny. It kind of makes the end of the universe quite less dramatically scary, because there'll just be a continuous, endless loop of just creating universe and universe and universe, because it is kind of scary knowing that even though we won't even be here, we'll be long gone, but the universe just dies and darkness is kind of just depressing. But with this theory, it makes things a little more better.
Much life. And if new universes are created constantly, maybe life will go on forever. We've heard rumors of a chosen one.
So yeah, that's awesome. I like that. I like that idea. I like that theory. That was a good theory. But again, it's one of those things that is just a theory and something that one day we might be able to discover or not. But definitely probably not in my lifetime, but maybe some of your lifetimes. But anyway, that was a good video. Make sure you check out the original description down below. See you in the next one. Later.